Welcome to the Budget Mom YouTube channel. I'm Kamiko Love from thebudgetmom.com, and we have Ryan here. And today we're going to be going over our full September budget recap. Ryan has made a major change, or is thinking about doing a major change, and I'm so glad this actually popped up in our real lives because it's such a great example. I wouldn't call it buyer's remorse, but I think it's a great example of all of a sudden getting in the mindset of thinking about the future.
Yeah, for sure.
And realizing that some things sometimes in our lives need to be shift or changed to get what we want faster when it comes to our debt.
Yep.
So we're going to be talking to that, and then we're going to be going over where our dollars went, what's going on with our savings, what's going on with Ryan's debt, and everything in between. Okay, so today we're going over September budget numbers. For me, I didn't have a lot of big changes. My big changes actually are happening right now in October. And if you follow me over on Instagram at The Budget Mom, major changes are happening with me. I'm going dairy and gluten free. So my major changes happening in October, not necessarily in September. In September, I was off by $3 when closing out my budget. So closing out your budget, it's called a lot of different things. Balancing out your budget, reconciling your budget, whatever it may be. Essentially, closing out your budget is just making sure that your spending and everything is accurate when it comes to tracking your spending and what's going on in your checking account. We do this process so we are aware of where our dollars are going so we can tweak and perfect our budget and finances in the future. So you do all the work to track your spending. You can't just leave it behind in the past and move on because your spending is telling you something really, really important. It's telling you if your spending is aligning with your financial goals. It's letting you know whether you're staying under or over your budget. If you're reaching your financial goals within that tracking period time frame. So this is a really important step. I will say the more that you do it, the easier and faster it becomes. Now, I am a manual tracker. I don't use electronic programs or apps to do my finances. Accuracy is extremely important to me. And for accuracy, we depend on ourselves, not on electronics. Right. Another thing too, I think it makes our spending and budgets more tangible, more real in our lives. There's something that psychologically happens to us when we put things pen to paper. But another reason why I do it manually is because it never matters what electronic program you're using. If you're using mint.com, YNAB, you still have to understand the process in order for you to understand why that program works the way it does. For example, why is YNAB, putting things as income, or why is it putting things towards your starting balance? Why are your numbers off? It's still the same process, but with our process, you are actually doing the work yourself. You're not relying and doing the robot work with an electronic program or app. Just wanted to put it out there. I get a lot of people who say, Miko, this would be so much easier if you just plug your numbers in. Right. But once you start plugging your numbers in, all the work that actually you need to understand gets lost and forgotten.
Yeah, and I feel like too, for me, I feel like this kind of like reminds me to do it. Or if it's on my phone, I feel like I wouldn't do it.
Right.
Like I see this laying around, I'm like, oh, I need to do that.
Like for example, when you first started this process, did you know what a starting balance was? Did you know that earned income isn't necessarily your entire income?
Not at all. And it does, like you said, you do get quicker at it the more that you do it. Just kind of like
and you start understanding those. I wouldn't call them rules, but understanding the process.
Right. And you don't even really think about it,
Right.
You just do it.
You do it.
Yeah.
You're like, oh, okay, well, I have leftover money from last month. That goes in my starting balance.
Exactly.
So you will get faster. And I'm hoping that by sharing our budget recaps over and over and over again, every single time you'll catch up on something new. So in September, like I said, not a lot for me going on. I was only over budget in 3 of my categories. One of those categories I want to be over in, and that's my savings. Big win for me in September was getting control of my pet budget. This is the first month since I've had Toby that I was only off by $1.
$1.
Okay? It's usually hundreds of dollars.
Yeah.
I figured it out. I got it honed down. And that was my number one goal from last month. I really wanted to buckle down on my pet budget. I was also over my food budget by $46, but that's because I use my Costco sinking fund.
Right.
So for me, not too bad. Now before we move on, you're going to be seeing something very new today on Ryan's budget. Ryan, why don't you talk about the major decision and how this opportunity came into your life?
Okay, so back in September, I went to go see my mom, and while we were there, my brother, I saw him as well. And my brother ended up getting a new car. So he has a car. It's a 2011 a Mazda 3, I believe is what it is. And he offered to give it to me. He lives in Kansas.
For free.
Yeah, for free. He lives in Kansas. I'm in Washington State. So the only thing that I would have to pay for is re-registering it and shipping it here. And then I would sell my car and essentially have no car payment. So that's kind of what I'm looking at right now. My car payment right now is $508. And that's just kind of been bugging me because to me, I've been working from home more often due to COVID. And I just kind of look out in my driveway and I see my car and I'm like, this is so annoying because I don't drive it very much. And I'm paying $500 for it. So I think I'm going to get rid of it and just drive my brother's car. It is old. But
Older.
Older. So with that, I know that there probably will be more car maintenance costs associated with that, which I am prepared for.
So what are you currently driving?
Currently, I'm in a 2019 Ford Escape.
So Ryan bought a brand new car.
Yeah, I bought it a year ago, actually, this month. So I think I'm about $1,000 to $3,000 upside down on it. I paid off quite a bit. But I feel like even if I did sell it and didn't make what I owe on it, even if it is a couple grand, I can pay that off in a couple months and then never have to deal with it again. So
she came to me and she goes, Miko, would you do this? And my instant answer was yes.
Yeah.
So if Ryan decides to sell her newer car, even if she is upside down, meaning that the car value of her current car right now is not worth the amount she still owes on it.
Yep.
So when she says I'm, under by $2,000 or $3,000, it just means that even if she were to go out and sell it in a private sale, she would still owe money on the balance of that car loan.
Correct. Yeah.
By $2,000 or $3,000.
Right.
But even with that, when she came to me, I'm like, yes. Because when in your life are you ever going to get offered a free car, for one?
Right.
And two, if she can get rid of the $508 car payments, guess what? She can then throw that money towards her student loans. And guess what? Tell them how fast you could pay off all of your student loans if you got rid of your car and applied that to your student
loans. Less than a year. So, that's definitely the driving force.
And how old are you?
26.
She's 26 years old and could have her student loans, all of them, completely paid off in less than a year if she went this route.
Yeah, I definitely could. And my car insurance too, because if you buy a new car, you have to have the most insurance on it. That would lower by about $70. I got a quote on it just to kind of see. So
she's doing research.
Yeah, I could put an additional $600 a month towards my financial goals, and that just seems all worth it.
Yeah.
So,
it's a hard decision. And
it is.
For me, it just came really naturally.
Yeah.
Like, heck yes.
That's what I said too, and I was like, slow down.
Yeah. It's but in reality, this is a major decision and it's a hard one to make.
Yeah, especially because right now I'm in an all-wheel drive car. So this is my first all-wheel drive car, and over here it does snow. But I'm comfortable with driving, a front-wheel drive car. But
look,
also,
I was driving around Spokane in a Mazda. I was in a Mazda Protege.
Yeah, see, I can do it.
It got me all through college, all the way up until I bought my Jeep, which was years and years and years I owned this Mazda. And it got around just fine here in Spokane.
Right. Yeah. So, there's about 150,000, not even 150,000 miles on it. Like I said, it's a 2011. I do have plans.
It's such a good deal.
I know, it is. I do, right now, my car maintenance fund, what I contribute to that every month is pretty low just because I am in a brand new car. So I would definitely increase that, but it definitely wouldn't be by $600.
No.
Yeah, I would be Yeah.
So
I think I'm doing it, and you guys will see that whenever we show you guys kind of everything else.
That's huge.
Yeah.
I get so many questions, Miko. I get this question all the time with people in your city.
Yeah.
Now, of course, most of us aren't handed a car, right? With no cost.
Yeah.
So the decision factor might be a little bit different. However, this is a great opportunity.
I agree.
It's a great opportunity. So we'll be showing you that, as well as we'll probably do a video
about the whole process.
Because Ryan went from leasing.
Yep. I didn't have, actually when I first started here, I didn't have any debt. I did have school loans, but I wasn't paying on anything yet. And my dad still paid my car payment, all of my bills pretty much. So then I went from there to buying my car, to paying my student loans and my car, and now I'm here. So I just kind of want to
you gotta
reduce my payments.
Yeah, back. You gotta. I mean, it's that you're getting to adulting,
right?
And all of a sudden, you start to realize, and that weight of those responsibilities and that debt, it can seem very crushing. Almost like you're getting to that point where I was, where it's like, I have things I want to accomplish in my future.
That's how I am too. I want to buy a house extremely bad because I live in a college town now. All of my neighbors are college kids, so I'm okay. I'm just that graduate that still lives there.
No, I get that. That's so funny because you're working through that life transition, and it truly is not just a finance transition. It's a life transition. Right, it is.
And I just realized that it's not. I honestly don't care about cars very much, so I don't really care what I drive. So I'm okay
as
with
long
driving
as it's dependable.
Car. Right. Yeah. And I only drive from work and home, so I'm not really worried about it.
And in 2011, 2011 really is not that bad.
And I've heard great things about Mazdas, so you told me, your Mazda.
I love my Mazda.
Yeah.
It ran forever.
Yeah.
Bless that car, I'll tell ya. And then I did what you did. I went straight to the car lot and bought a brand new Jeep right off the lot with 10 miles on it.
Oh, man.
Worst decision. Always buy a used car.
Yeah, and that's definitely what I wanted, but you can't always go with that route. And with it being my first car, I couldn't get approved for anything but a new car. Mm-hmm. So I was kind of forced, I guess you can say.
Yes. So that's what you're going to be saying today as we show you our September budget recaps. These are our Where Did My Money Go worksheets. Now, this is the first time you're going to see Ryan's using the workbook. I'm using the booklet. So it's a little bit different as far as layout goes, but it's essentially the same information. So let's talk about the 3 worksheets we use to close out our budget. The first one is the monthly budget category breakdown. Now, if you've been watching my budget recaps, then you know that this information is compiled from our spending trackers and our expense trackers. So I use the highlighter method, and essentially I have one for my cash expense tracker and I have one for my checking account. Each color represents a different category in my budget. So that's where we get our information, and then we just add up the different categories and how much we spent in each category to get to this information. So like I had mentioned, my monthly budget category breakdown, I'm off by $3. Now I use a zero-based budget, income minus expenses equals 0. Now with your income is a mix of different things. It's not just earned income. So my income was starting balance, meaning I rolled over money that I didn't use for my budget from August into September. I had incoming income. My incoming income was a bunch of different things for the month of September. I had, for instance, I used my Christmas sinking fund, $577 from that, and then my regular paychecks and money from Chris, but I also used $43 from my Christmas sinking fund. I used a Costco sinking fund. So savings that is saved in a prior month, but you're using it in the current month, that is income if you are spending it. So my total income was $6,568. Like I said, I was over budget in my food by $46 and then savings. But $46 was just purely because I had that Costco run. But other than that, I did think I did pretty good with it. Where are you at with your category breakdown? Now remember, the monthly budget category breakdown is literally telling you where your dollars went inside your organized budget categories?
Yeah, so my starting balance into September was $435.28. Incoming income, I had paychecks, and then I also, I want to say, yeah, I had like a $10 Rakuten check that I deposited, so that was also part of that, for a total monthly of about $36.10. I was really good under budget. I did raise my food budget just because my boyfriend and I, he's starting to pay, the car insurance comes out of his checking account. So instead of us transferring everything every month, I'm just picking up more of the food to kind of equal that out. So I was under $47.89. I was under my food budget, which is a huge win.
Your food budget's always a struggle.
Yeah. I was over miscellaneous, debt, which is a good thing.
Mm-hmm.
Looks like utilities and savings, which is also a good thing.
So 2 out of the 4 categories you were over, you want to be over.
Yeah, so I did really good in September, which is really surprising to me because I actually decided to go 100% cashless in September.
Oh.
Yeah, 100%. I know you did a few categories,
I went 3 categories that were cashless.
See, I did 100%, and I thought that it wasn't gonna, this is better than most months, so that's a win. So I'm continuing the cashless into October.
Oh.
And just seeing how that goes.
Dang.
Yeah, we'll see.
All right, so off by 70 cents.
Off by 70 cents.
Okay.
So it was a good month.
I have my monthly debt and savings breakdown right here. It's across from your monthly budget category breakdown in the booklet. Ryan has hers here in the workbook. Your monthly debt and savings breakdown, it tells you if your spending is aligning with your financial goals and priorities. And what I mean by that is you could be saving for a million different things. You shouldn't, but you could be saving for a lot of different things or paying off multiple debts. The goal is, though, you always want to have one priority debt or savings goal that you are working towards. And that ensures that you're not spreading yourself thin with your dollars, across multiple different goals. That way you can see the progress that you really want to make on that one that's really important to you. For me, I saved $2,392 of my income, 36% of my income. It's not the best I've ever done, but saving 36% of your income, I always call that a win.
Yeah.
It went towards sinking fund, landscaping, my $5.29, and my $5 challenge. Guess what I did?
What?
I forgot to save for the 2020 savings challenges in September.
Oh, yeah.
So I have to do that in October. But my number one priority was landscaping. And as you can see, 44% of the money that I saved went towards landscaping.
Wow.
So it definitely does show my priority here. Remember, your spending tells you what's important to you.
Mm-hmm.
Have you ever heard that saying? Like, don't show me your budget, show me your spending, and I'll tell you your priorities.
Yeah.
It's so true. So where are you at? Because you have debt too.
Yes. So I was able to put about 18% of my income to debt, 22% of it to savings. Let's see. I put some additional money towards my student loan. This minimum payment is $25, and this is the number one debt that I am focusing on is my student loan. Car loan, hopefully that won't be there for much longer. And then you'll see here is my savings, shipping my car. So I think I got a quote. It was about for $900. So that's what I'm saving for right now. I have not made a final decision yet. So I just want to save the money just in case I do decide to ship it up here, just so I already have it.
Mm-hmm.
And then I'm going to Hawaii in January, and I want to kind of just focus on getting that money saved just so it's out of the way and I don't have to think about it. I saved $48 for my challenges, $60 for my sinking funds, and $20 for car maintenance.
Would you say that if you look at this, so $45 went towards your shipping your car. Mm-hmm. What's your number one priority goal?
As far as savings, shipping my car is right now, and Hawaii is second, just because it's so short, and I finally made up my mind that I'm going kind of not too many months in advance.
Right.
So I just want to hit my savings goal with that. It's just spending money since my dad's gifting me the trip. So I just want to make sure I have all of that set up well before I go to Hawaii.
And you also want to make sure too that if you do pull the final trigger on shipping your car and going that route,
right,
that money is there.
Right. In worst case, if I don't, then I'll put it towards my other financial priority.
Right.
But at least it's there.
Yeah, for sure. So that's the monthly debt and savings breakdown. All right. Now, my monthly spending comparison is over one spread, I should say, 2 different pages, just because I'm using the smaller booklet. Ryan here is using the full size and it's on one sheet. We're comparing August to September. Why do we do a monthly spending comparison this month from last month? We do that because you want to ensure that you are hitting those small goals between tracking periods or between budgets. Now, I can say between budgets because I get paid once a month. But in Ryan's case, she budgets from the first of the month to the last day of the month. So really you're looking at your difference between your tracking periods. Now, like I said, I had a goal to really hone down my pet budget. And that's very apparent that I hit that because if you look at my pet budget right here on this line, I spent $136 this month than last month.
Wow.
That's really good.
Yeah.
So if it's in pink, I spent more in September than I did in August. And if it's in green, I spent less than. So really, I did have an income change of $711. My income increased, and that was due to me purely using my savings. And remember, anytime you have a monthly income change, whether it's decreasing or increasing, your spending needs to be compensating for those changes. So it really was. I mean, I spent $98 more in food. A big one was I was $166 less in my insurance because I got a savings rebate.
Oh, nice.
That was applied to my bill in September, which was really nice. I also spent $310 less in my household. So, like I said, though, my number one goal was that pet budget, and I hit that.
Yay. See, my trouble spot in August was my food budget, and I was able to decrease that in September by $122. My income did go down by $365, but I mean, you can see here that my spending did align with that. It looks like I spent more in September in my miscellaneous category and savings, just because now I'm saving for that car.
Yeah, that's really good. Wow,
September
you did
was a win for me, which was so surprising to me with cashless, because I've usually struggled with cashless.
That's amazing. Like you were less in all of the categories you needed to be.
Yeah, so it was a huge win. It was a huge, it was a really good month.
Yeah. So this is the 3 worksheets we use for our September, closing out our budgets and our September budget recap. Alrighty, so after looking at September, a couple of things that what you might see in the future. Make sure you check out my Instagram where I'm always share daily videos, updated real-time videos of my spending, my budget, what's happening in my real life, including my new gluten and dairy-free diet. I really want to document this journey. Look, I'm kind of setting out on a mission to show someone who's on 2 drastic ends of a scale.
Yeah.
One where my entire life, I've never thought about the food that I consume. I've kind of lived the life. Life is too short. You should eat what you want to eat as long as it's not excessive and it's in moderation.
Right.
If I want an ice cream, I eat an ice cream. If I want cheesy breadsticks, I eat cheesy breadsticks. On the other end, though, going from that to having a restrictive diet, my entire journey about why I decided to go gluten and dairy free, all of that is on Instagram, but you're also going to be seeing that in my food budget. But I tell you right now, I am on a mission to show that your food budget does not have to drastically change due to diet restrictions. I do believe, honestly, there will be some change.
Yeah.
Of course, of course. But, my goal, I'm challenging myself to keep it at $400 a month. Even having and let me tell you, I've started this process, crazy restrictions. Crazy restrictions, substitutes, a whole new way of looking at the food that you consume. So that's what you're going to be seeing from me, at least the changes in my September or in my budget recaps going forward.
Okay, for me, like I talked about in the beginning, my car is the biggest thing.
Oh my gosh, I'm so excited.
I'm hoping that by November even, if I do end up going that route, that I will be able to start putting more money towards that. It just kind of depends on a lot of different factors. But I am hoping that expense of my car is no longer in my budget come the new year.
It's approaching.
Yeah, right. It's approaching so quickly. And also my car insurance will go down quite a lot with that as well. So those are kind of the big 2 for me.
Big changes. Yeah. If you found this video helpful, please like it and don't forget to subscribe. Can we flip it?
Yeah.
Yep, much better. Restart. I knocked the mic down. Oh, I got a text.